Do the graphics for Pokemon Sword and Shield suck? Well, this is a topic that I saw people discussing over at 4chan and I thought it was very interesting. Now, if you're the type of gamer that believes that graphics has nothing to do with the quality of a game, well, this video is not for you. But if you're the type of gamer that expects a certain level of workmanship when it comes to your next-gen games, let's see what Pokemon Sword and Shield has presented to us so far. It is very difficult to criticize a game that you really love, especially since nostalgia most likely will get in the way. As for me, I believe that graphics alone does not make a great game, but it does have a big impact on how you perceive them. The biggest example I can give you is from one of my favorite games of all time, and that is of course The Legend of Zelda: Ocarina of Time. The Zelda franchise was well established when this game arrived, and most fans were extremely satisfied with the previous games. Well, not all of them, there were some oddballs in the family, but from what I remember as a kid, the biggest feature that Ocarina of Time brought to the table was an open 3D world that we had not seen before in any Zelda game. This was huge, and I believe is one of the main reasons why it got so much praise. On top of that, the story was pretty awesome. I feel many Pokemon fans felt the same way when Kalos was revealed. Most of the previous games were simply in 2D, and even though Black and White was somewhat 3D, it was not what gamers were expecting. But Kalos looked and felt like a big step towards next-gen graphics for Pokemon main series games. Keep in mind that unlike Zelda, Pokemon remain in handheld consoles, so high-level graphics was not really expected from them. So with the release of the Nintendo Switch and its ability to work as both a home console and handheld console, it was only a matter of time before a Pokemon game was released with next-gen graphics. And what do we get? Well, Pokemon Let's Go Eevee and Pikachu. In my opinion, these games were definitely a step up when it came to graphics alone, and while many would argue that they look cartoonish, I feel that Pokemon games are not expected to bring the best graphics out of consoles like other games such as Gran Turismo. So here comes Pokemon Sword and Shield. For the first time ever, we're getting a main series Pokemon game on a home console. Well, sort of. And I was expecting to be blown away with how amazing it would look. And to be honest, I was blinded by my love for Pokemon games and I just felt like, yes, this is a huge improvement. And now we turn to 4chan and look at the small details that might bother you, or not. Keep in mind that the trailer itself states that this is not the final product, but most games establish that when they're first announced, and for the most part, they remain very similar. Unlike Killzone's 2 trailer, if you know what I'm talking about, that should have been illegal. First, let's look at a picture of trees and bushes that we can see in the background. I initially ignored them because I know I'm still buying the game, and if Pokemon does what they have done in the past, I know I'm gonna end up loving the new games as well. But really, if I came with an outsider's point of view, what the heck is that? The only way I can describe those renderings is as if they were taken from a PlayStation Portable, which was released back in 2005. But still, even the trees and grass from Metal Gear Solid Peace Walker, which is a PSP game, look much better. Another aspect that people criticize games for is their internal physics. I know, Pokemon is not really aiming for this at all, but you gotta admit that it's a huge gap, and unless those straps are made of some solid material, there's no way that this looks quote-unquote realistic. Oh boy, here I am talking bad about Pokemon games. I can already see the comments. I'm gonna get burned. The last picture that was shared on the 4chan post was the floating brick wall. And if you take a closer look, yep, that wall is just levitating over the grass. That to me is just unclean work, and I hope that it will be polished when the final product is out. But the main reason I was upset about this is because if we go back full circle, The Legend of Zelda was also released on the Nintendo Switch, and oh boy does it look good. I know it's not perfect and there are glitches and bugs, but when I played the game, it sure felt like a huge improvement and somewhat next level gen graphics. It would be nice if Pokemon looked like their Pokken versions, but I guess we'll get there eventually. Of course, all of this is based on the little info we have so far, but you know what they say. First impressions are very important. Once the games come out, we could be overwhelmed by the story, mechanics, and everything that they bring to the table that graphics probably won't matter at all. But the question is, how do you feel about this? Should the graphics and level of details be better? Are they what you expected? And the most important thing, are you happy? I know I am, knowing that one of my most memorable child game franchises is continuing to make games as I get older and older, even if they're not top of the line next gen graphics. Let me know what you guys think in the comments below. Thank you so much for watching, and until next time, Pokemon fans.